Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight. It is
Super kick.
Let go! Let go!
Third! Super kick party! Yeah, pay the money for that. Yes! This life is going great! Let's go!
He's healthy.
Let's go!
Is she healthy?
Yeah!
Apparently she's back.
Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. We are up. We are at 'em. Sorry, I'm running late today. Let's get over, and we're only a minute away. Yo, 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 and away we go. It has been a crazy day. I'll be honest, as I was firing up Spotify with the intro music, it kept clicking on me, like an audio buffering, so I've been spending the last 10 minutes trying to fix that up, so... Oh, let's get a horn for the Jays in. Why not? We are 2 days away from the World Series, and that's going to be a hell of a fun time here. Contrary to what you said in Rez's chat there, Nats, so for that, yeah. I know I caught you. I see everything. I just don't say a whole lot, so... I'm a silent but deadly person, you know. Those are the worst kind to have around. So, but thank you everybody for stopping by. Whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Twitch, I want to give you guys a heads up. It's either going to be Saturday or Monday, or Tuesday, depending if Andre's got anything. I recorded my first ever edited video that I am going to be releasing here. I got to get the graphics put together for it, so that's why it isn't ready yet. I don't have an exact title for it yet, but I'll mention it later on in the show too. But the opening line is, what does Andrade El Idolo, Samantha Irvin, and Homer Simpson all have in common? I'm not going any further than that. Because it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Had you until the Homer... Hey, you know what? You're in the right line, but you gotta... I bet you they're in the same category. You just gotta dig a little deeper, that's all. So, that's why I wanted to throw the last one in there, just to fool everybody and make them think a little bit. But yeah, we are going to be in for a fun night of Dynamite action tonight. As they're bringing it up, the Ops, who are newly healed, taking on the Hurt Syndicate. We very well could have a title change. A one-arm Bandito taking on Okada. You know what, Bandito win? I wouldn't mind it, but I know what they want to do. They want to do Okada Takeshita, So we're getting a bracket reveal for the women, but the bracket isn't even decided yet because of the four-way tag that they just announced today. So the winner of this first round match gets to pick their opponent for the first round. Well, I guess it's your pick your seeding match. Oh, this is going to be fun. We get another conglomeration death trios. We're getting Moxley O'Reilly just thrown out of nowhere? Take back my rant from Saturday. I forgot about the Paranoia match in Japan. Yeah. And talking about Saturday, every response that I've seen go through on social media is saying nothing but positive things about the show, outside of the obvious one, which is length, which it seems like that's going to be a ride or die for a lot of people, and you just live with it. I was ranting throughout the show how poor the crowd was, and just how I couldn't get into the second half of the matches as much. So maybe I'm just a crusty old man that just has way too high standards. And for the record, I've only watched clips of the I Quit match. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I just haven't had time. And I had a few people send me the links to some fishy sites to watch it, which I appreciate and I thank you. But I will say that for what I've seen and what came of it, it's pretty much what I expected out of that match. Do I think they basically pushed themselves to a point where that was going to be the match they had to have. With Swerve and Hangman, you could go to that level. I think they already went too high in the I Quit match before that people are almost expecting Swerve Hangman, and you wouldn't be able to get that with these two. Because it's not just stuff they do. Like, they're not bringing out hypodermic needles. They're not bringing out... Well, I guess they could use cinder blocks, but... Now, is that a real therapist or no? That's the question I have right now. Oh, Jesus. So we're opening with the trios match. I wonder if they actually do change the titles tonight. This crowd's still cheering for Joe. That's the rough part about this whole thing. The crowd's still cheering for Joe. I'm not surprised that the Ops work together on it. I love the ring apron, by the way. Has anybody seen the ring apron yet? The ring apron there just covered in DC logos on the bottom. Or AEW characters in a DC program. Hey, Mr. Zodiac, how you doing? How you doing, Chris? Hope you're doing well tonight. As we're getting ready for this championship match. The first of two tonight. But yeah, we got the... I absolutely love the ring aprons now that they do with DC. I really wish they would change the full gear logo to something DC related as well. See, people are going to love Joe regardless. I don't think that's going to change. I'm doing good. It's been a little bit of a crazy day. I was mentioning it earlier. I actually finished fully recording my first ever, gonna try and actually edit a decent commentary video. And actually, you're sort of the catalyst for it to finally stem it. I gotta give you credit here. I don't know what the exact title of the video is going to be, and it's probably going to come out either Saturday or Monday. I've already mentioned it over here earlier, but guys are just coming in now. I'm not going to get into details, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to give it for an exact title yet. But I'll give you the first line. What does Andrade El Idolo, Samantha Irvin, and Homer Simpson all have in common? I leave it there. And we're just branching out the story from there because, Anytime you can bring a good Simpsons reference into a video is always a good thing. But yeah, I was also earlier, we were talking about Dynamite here, and we were talking specifically more about Wrestledream and the sort of the feel after the show. And I do have to admit that I'm literally I was a little over the top with the fact that I couldn't even watch the last 15 minutes. And it's sort of, I went off on a rant that I probably really shouldn't have there because it really wasn't as bad as some people might say. Here we go. We'll talk about that as we go further into this, but still thought I think the last match was definitely a lot. I think they were put into a no-win situation on that match. Because literally either A, you commit murder, or B, you put a flat match out. I thought it was going to be a referee that stopped it instead of a wrestler saying I quit. I thought that was going to be the flat match, but... So yeah, I can understand why people would call it a dud. Hey, Michael, pop in. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate having you here. So, do we get a title change here tonight? Do we get a title change on this match? I think so, to be honest. And Joe's like, fuck, I thought it would work, but it didn't work. Shelton not taking that power slam. This is a hell of a fun night tonight, it looks like. Just the way things are lining up here. Shibata just said to hell with it, I'm in. Joe eating a knee. Ha! Shelton automatically thinks pile driver, so he goes around the waist, and then Hobbs like, no, get off. It's going to be interesting to see Shibata as a heel. Despite all the stuff that they've said and done and whatnot, people, like you said, Zodiac, everybody's still cheering him on. That's why I think it might be smart to change the titles, because you need Joe a little bit of time just to... Well, you don't need to, quote-unquote, solidify a heel turn. Everybody knows he's a bad guy, but there are certain things he can do without the assistance of Shibata and Hobbs that could just take it to another level, unless he wants to take them there too. Bet if he faces Hangman again, the crowd gets behind Joe. Yeah, probably. Depending on how they got to work on how they play their cards. And that's where it's a very slippery slope here right now with what's happening with Hangman. Like, I'm not going to take back the idea that I think that Hangman probably had his worst title match of either reign in that match against Joe. It just seemed like they were not clicking together in terms of having a really decent, coherent match together. But do they make up for it in a future match here? AEW is not a lot. is not really. Hangman has a boring face. Joe is a heel people hate to love. Yeah, fair enough. I can they find some way to work a storyline out to make Joe that despicable heel? And that's probably the hardest part right now. Because if they could find a way to turn Joe into, like, Joe literally in his later time in TNA when he was there, nobody cheered him. He found a way to get everybody to boo him, and he was in that position. He was that absolute badass, though. It took a tribal mark and a knife, but I really hope it doesn't come to that at this point. But no, it's going to be interesting if they try to do the whole trio as a heel, like Shibata we haven't seen as a heel. Hobbs we saw as a heel for a while there. Like he was one of the original members of Team Taz as well, right? So, which once again I want to wish Taz all the best on his recovery from double shoulder surgery, I believe it is, or knee surgery, one or the other. And on top of that, a little bit of breaking news from here from earlier, and I know Nats, you're a little bit more of a hardcore guy about it. Cage hasn't come out with it directly, but Gage, sorry, not Cage, Gage, and I'm talking about Nick Gage. The owner of GCW, Brett Lauderdale, came out today and said that Nick Gage is canceling all his wrestling stuff right now, that he is currently in getting treatment. And for those that don't know, Gage recently lost his wife, and he's had some issues with addiction. Nick Gage will come out with all the details when he feels appropriate to do so. He's always been like that. He always will be like that. But in the meantime, just want to wish him all the best in his recovery here. So sorry to get so dark and serious right off the bat, but also think a champ needs to be accessible in all forms of social media in this day and age, not the ones you find most. The only counter I have to that is the fact that, hell, Tony Khan doesn't even feel appropriate half the time when he's in there, so. But I get what you're saying, and the fact that Hangman literally dumped Twitter, or because it is a real shitter, that makes a lot of sense too. You have to be able to be found everywhere. And Joe has started to get a little bit more comfortable in the in speaking a little bit again on the socials. TK's a dork and always comes off weird. I'll give you that one and that one just for that. Oh, he dumped Insta too? Yeah, well. If Hangman ain't doing pictures, well. I wonder how long we're going to actually get for a Hangman title reign here. I still think MJF's the eventual guy to take it, but all depends how they do it here. What I could see possibly happening, and hear me out. Uh-oh. Shibata's dead. That's gotta suck. He landed on his knees. Now the crowd gets the chant. These two are just going at it tooth and nail here. Hobbs's arms are so thick. I don't know if Bobby could get the hurt lock in on him. Good to hear Danielson's voice again tonight, though. All right, so does MVP eat a pin here, or does Alexander Cruz? The name sounds familiar, but not like he's not like a household name to me. But the name sounds familiar. Got a match coming up, or? Oh, Virginia Championship. Okay. That was a spike, to say the least. Watching his stuff. Hey. Is he going for this overdrive? Oh, goody. It's our buddy Ricochet. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? If you're Ricochet, why the frick would you do this? Is it just me, or would you not rather have the Hurt Syndicate get the championships and get them off them, because taking them off the Ops isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world? I think this is going to end up being a MVP's going to get one-on-one with Ricochet somehow in this. All right, well, we're going to get a Joe interview, and he's going to try and, piss off the world. He's playing the face card. It's definitely... The problem is, half the crowd's agreeing with him. That's the biggest problem right now. So Mox has a match against Kyle O'Reilly, so this could be very interesting. By the way, Nick, good to see you. No, they announced 2 matches very late. TK did his 5 o'clock specials again. Kyle O'Reilly versus Mox, and the rest of the Death Riders against the rest of the conglomeration. And Roderick Strong, because Roderick Strong contractually would like to be known as not in the conglomeration, but you know what I mean, though. That tag will be okay. It's just, I wonder if it's gonna be the end of the. He's trying, but this crowd's sort of agreeing with him on all this. May I be frank about this? If there is one possibility, if they do the 6-man before the Mox O'Reilly match, Mox comes out and he actually loses to O'Reilly and they beat the shit out of him and he leaves. I think that could be where we go with this. Because quite often, a lot of these go-away scenarios happen the week after the pay-per-view rather than at the pay-per-view. So some of us fans have something to go on after what happened. Because I really don't think they want to... Not a Death Rider's turn, more like a Mox turn. I think that after Mox loses, the Death Riders turn on Mox, and Mox is the one that turns over to a face. Oh, goody, more male models out here from Mercedes. Congratulations to Mercedes for winning her 12th championship against Jody Threat out in Winnipeg on Sunday, sorry. All right, we got our first match. We got our first official match booked for Full Gear. Now that celebration's literally going to turn into a, how do I put it politely, a screaming fest. So just a heads up, I wasn't able to do the pre-stream knock out the first hour of ads deal that I normally try to do on Twitch. So ad breaks coming up in about a minute and a half here. So if we get to an official commercial break, I'll throw in some ads just so we can sort of correlate things a little bit better. But just giving you guys a heads up here because unfortunately I wasn't able to. And speaking of which, let's do that right now so we're on pace here. Yeah. It's going to be fun to see Mercedes and Statlander. I think are going to be a hell of a fun match to have. I do hope eventually that it ends up being 12 versus 1 title match. Either that or Statlander wins and Monet starts losing titles. She's got to start dropping a few of these. I'm not saying right away, but at least after Full Gear, when she can't win that, she gets so frustrated. She starts making mistakes in these matches, and all of a sudden a title goes, and an idol goes, and another one goes, and another one goes. And before you know it, you're pretty much out of, you're down to like 3 or 4 titles. Then you start challenging 3 for 1 kind of deal, just anything desperate to get a title back. So it sort of feels like Lisa Simpson when she got an F on her test, or better yet, when the teachers went on strike. She's so short on titles, it is, it basically turns out to be, please, title me, title me. So she gets handed a paper title and she's like, phew. It's like crazy like that, so. With the ops now fully healed, I mean Shibata's English translator Jenner is going to be more serious now. Or they're... I'll be honest, FaZe, it's too early first of all to know the real answer what they're going to do. But honestly, don't have Shibata talk. Let him be the silent assassin in that team. If you want to get away from the goofy laughy translator. No, and it's a great question to ask, like what they're going to do. My prediction is they don't let him talk. You could always use a Google Translate anyway. It's just some of the words that are going to have to come out of that translator's mouth are going to have to be a little bit more dramatic, more TVMA, a little bit more R-rated, a little bit more swears. Makes sense. Heels should not entertain the fans. They want to make the fans move. And Joe tried the old sports trick to try and do that here, which I give him credit for. Bandito and Okada tonight? Yeah. Nick, that is going to be a lot of fun. By the way, welcome back for the ad break, everybody. I'm going to try to be a little smart to make sure I add those in. But honestly, Bandito has been working enough to it will autocorrect for that. That makes sense. Don't worry about it, Nick. For as many mistakes I make on here in a stream, it's not like the early Okada AEW bitch days, right? Well, I just don't think it would fit that point, so. Pick it up an iPad tomorrow, Nick? That a boy. And, sorry, I don't know anything about Lex here, Nats. Sorry. Out of Rex Lawless there? I don't know any Rex Lawless, unfortunately, so. Yeah, no, Nick, if you haven't heard, it's either going to go up Saturday, Monday, or Tuesday. I got to talk to Andre to confirm, but I've actually recorded a video that I'm actually going to add stuff to and like graphics and all that and actually try and make it look like a professional video. So if you guys aren't subscribed over on the YouTube channel, which if you're watching YouTube right now, it's easy. Just hit that little bell and hit the thumbs up and whatnot. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a little humorous in a way. I'm going to try and make it as not serious as possible. Here's a question I have for you, chat. What does Darby do now? Like, I know Darby's out here right now. We're probably going to get somewhat of an answer, but what does Darby do now? Like, he's slayed his dragon. His dragon go for Fletcher? Fletcher's got a lot of enemies. That might make sense, but... Or Okada? Yeah. Ah! I love that. Darby versus Takeshita. Oh, by the way, Nick, sorry. I while I got a bunch of people in here, I'll just let you guys contemplate this. I haven't made a title of the video, but I have. I'll let you guys in on the first line. What does Andrade El Idolo, Samantha Irvin, and Homer Simpson have in common? I'll leave it at that for you guys. You can speculate about it and figure it out when I draw out the video here when it comes out here. So. First thing I thought it was, don't. Hey, you know what? You're not wrong. They all know Bill Goldberg. He's still after the Death Riders? Did you know Darby called him out? I get it. And I understand it's a little bit of overkill here, the fact that they bring it up. I've always believed, and it's one thing that I've learned, like when we're talking about commentary, it's one of the rules that you sort of learn as you're doing commentary. And it's a fine line you got to get involved in. You want to treat this like somebody coming in for the first time. Like nobody's seen your product before and this is their first show. Nats, you could die on that hill all you want because I ain't there for it. Life is all about accomplishing your dreams. And did we really lose anything with the fact that Darby wasn't here for as long as he was? This is Darby going to climb Mount Everest is really no different than anybody else wanting to go jump to, like in your regular job, you want to take time off to go somewhere, right? Hey, Brett, hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. We had a terrible Death Rider story. I don't think that would have changed. I think Darby would have moved around some other way. He went to Mount Everest. I don't know if you're... Sorry, must interrupt. Let me get a bunch of these in for you, Zodiac, before we're just gonna... There. I just put a bunch in there for you, just for the heck of it. You went to Mount Everest? Yeah. A lot of people... It's a great day he did. I'm happy for him. I'm just very tired of being a dramatic point in every... And I get that. That Darby climbing Mount Everest has to be a thing they bring up. Okay, you get... By the way, all the other sound clips for tonight, I managed... If everything works right with the alert, the sound should not be coming through for any of those alerts anymore. So you'll actually hear the authentic audio. So I wonder how many people in this group of 8, you heard this one, but no, I'm talking about like the John Cena clip, the Mario clip, the Star Wars clip, any of those other blurps that are there. You should be able to hear those without the extra Twitch clip there. Thank you for the hydrate.
And his name is John Cena!
Of course it didn't work. Oh, that's right, because it has its own. Okay. Hey, Brett. Yeah, he was nuts for climbing Mount Everest, but you know what? Everybody has different dreams and different goals. Dumb question for you. Sorry, Brett. Don't mean to. Did you jump over just because the video was bad, or just? I'm trying to see about the dual stream if it's actually working still. Is insane big, so for him to do like, I'm not gonna. Oh, your chat wasn't popping up. Okay. Oh, I was seeing it. It was, it. I saw he went to Mount Everest. That's all I saw you say. So, But I can see it on my screen. I can see it on the side coming up, but because I'm trying to think in order how these go up. Okay, fair enough. Nats, only thing I'm going to say about it. Simply put, you got to think of AEW as a job. WWE is a job. Your job at wherever you work. My job at a convenience store is a job. If you want to do something like that as your life goal, and you think work's going to keep you in the way because you signed a contract to go to work, so like along the lines of if he did climb Mount oh, you actually didn't know. I saw that he went Mount Everest. That's all I saw there, so I don't know. Oh, I think it's because there's I'll have to see if there's an auto mod on there. If you put that second last word in there, that might be why. I haven't really, like, when it comes to the fine tuning of everything in YouTube, I haven't really figured it out yet. I've been there forever, but I just haven't looked at it. YouTube's weird with AI mods. That's fair. Like, I've already passed that word because I know it's coming in a lot here. But no, Darby Allin did actually climb Mount Everest. That flag that he has in the middle of the ring, he actually planted on the top of Mount Everest when he got there. And Zodiac, I believe Brett's the exact reason why I don't mind him mentioning it. I understand that it gets annoying that they say it so many times, but you got somebody like Brett here who didn't know that he did it. So, like I said, it's one thing we learned in commentary. You gotta treat it like everybody's brand new. Or at least a good portion of your staff are brand new. And yeah, like, Darby actually, he didn't show the actual photos of the people, but he showed, like, the buried, like, the mounds of snow around people that are literally dead up there. Fright Night Dynamite next week. Let's go. I don't know what I wonder if they're going to do Saturday still. Because Saturday we might have one of those AEW versus WWE situations again on Saturday night. And I'll be perfectly honest, I will take Game 7 of the World Series over watching WWE Saturday night's main event right now. So, just so you guys know, I will be here for a regular. I'm one province over, actually. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, which is a state over, basically. No, unfortunately, Chelsea Green is the most famous wrestling personality from Victoria. And unfortunately, in my town, the name is redacted. We're not allowed to. You're not supposed to bring that name up in circles, right? Cash or phone? No, we're one province off from the province that rhymes with fun. Or the city that rhymes with fun, sorry. As these ladies are absolutely batshit insane here. I love how Megan's like, no, you get up. Oh no, we do both, Brett. We're pretty much as integrated as the States are, so. Sorry, just like you threw me for a little loop there on that, so like what are we in caves here or something? No, we're not that bad. We do live in igloos 8 months of the year, and you know we YouTuber I watch doesn't use cash anymore. I'll be honest. I usually try to keep $100 on me if I can. It's all digital. The reason I keep $100 on me, it's because if I'm ever down on the highway, and broken down, a tow truck driver may not take card, but it sure as hell take cash. It's one lesson I learned when I was driving out of town all the time. You need Regina because it's warmer there. And I'm just going to like, on that one, thank you. Oi. That's all I'm going to say about oi. Wow, I'm a little red-faced tonight. A little more than usual. Some parts of the country, Canada still uses bags for milk. I know it's more down on the East Coast type of, it's an East Coast thing. I remember back when I was a kid, we used to have that, like in the 80s, but I haven't seen it here in Western Canada for years, but I do know it's a thing in Western Canada. I remember we used to have we used to have a milk container that literally the bag would perfectly fit in, then you just cut the edge. Once again, Zodiac, I will just followed immediately by that. But no, saw a video in Canada back like 10 years ago. Eastern Canada, and I don't know, Nick can maybe talk about this if he's still here a little bit about it, but that's more of a East Coast thing than a West Coast thing now. I'm not even going there. I'm enjoying this match, by the way. Who do you got in this match, for the record? Like, as we're going through this, because this is interesting. Whoever wins gets to pick their first round opponent. Like Twitch because less restrictive than you. Well, you got to remember it's also it's also the mod tools that they have. Like I do know YouTube's getting better with their mod tools, but it's still taking time. So also the other thing I want to let you guys know about, I did apply for the vertical stream beta for Twitch. I haven't got it yet, but when you're on the list, you get a little bit of advanced access compared to everyone. So for those watching on their phones, there might be a possibility in the future you could watch on Twitch being vertical instead of horizontal. Doesn't AEW have a lot of big wrestlers? Well, AEW has a good mix, right? Yeah, if you watch on your phone, you'll be able to watch like on a normal phone look, or else you could switch over to the standard look you're seeing right now. So I'll argue, Brett, that vertical smiles. There you go. if you, I'd actually argue that a lot of the stars of AEW are big on their own now for what they've grown. Like Willow Nightingale may be the face of the company. Like, if she hasn't been already, she's very close to being one. You mean big as in physical? Well, you got Bobby Lashley, you got Powerhouse Hobbs. Willow is ready for a championship run. That's why I think it makes sense that the eventual. Okay. Penelope's just there to eat finishes, isn't she? I wish wrestling would harken back to the good old days, to the big muscular wrestlers I did. The problem is with that is a lot of that bigger wrestler thing that they were doing was so associated with steroids that a lot of them disappear with it, right? And Zodiac, I do plan on doing it, right? And unfortunately, as much as people want to confer that this is a sports-related thing, oh, Jamie's talking. All right, well, we know our first round match is going to be the Sisters in Sin against Hayter and Amanada, which pretty much is setting up for our big. That's setting up for Blood and Guts. Uh oh, what's going on outside? This is not good. Hashtag broke bucks. Hashtag broke bucks. Oh my God, we got a TK sighting. Oh my goodness, we will have some fun on Saturday. They literally gave him $1. Nick's still keeping it though. All right, let me throw the ad in here real quick for you guys. No, I get it. People missing the Ruth. Well, I'll talk about it after the break because Brett unfortunately is not subbed here, so I don't want to get him out of the loop on here on stuff. So I like to respond to your comments if you're not a sub after the break, but normally I'm one of these guys that likes to push the breaks in, but not. I'm not too worried about the breaks, but it's sometimes, when you're talking on streams, you like to, when somebody brings up a comment, you want to respond back. But yeah, when it comes to AEW's roster, I think it's pretty settled down to exactly what they need right now. I'm just waiting until the ads are done here, but no, that match on Saturday will be fun. We will be here on Saturday, just a reminder, with AEW Collision. We might have an extra screen up just watching a little bit of the side of Halloween Havoc. Not that I'm too worried about it a whole lot, to be honest with you. But, and then after that, we'll have WWE 2K25 My GM mode, the solo run. We'll be running on Saturday, so. Oh, I didn't, Brett, I didn't realize you were out of the commercial. It's according to my timer, the ad was still going on there. No worries at all. I just want to make sure you don't miss I want to make sure I answer your question. I understand that you missed the Ruthless Aggression era. I look back at a Ruthless Aggression era, there was a lot of good stuff, but there was a lot of crap as well. So for every highlight, you got your Great Khali versus Kane match. Sort of a little bit of tit for tat on those. And let me just make it clear, I don't want to force anybody to sub, but I'm also, I want to make sure that those that have sub get their extra privileges here as well. So it's sort of a try to make a nice balance between the two. And honestly, paying $8 a month for 5 emotes doesn't really equate. That's all. I'm not trying to be pushy or anything. And just remember, if you do have Twitch Prime, you do have a free sub. If you do have Amazon Prime, you do get one free sub as well. So, but yeah, Nick, this match on the weekend should be a lot of fun. In terms of Karrion Kross, you're probably not going to see him here for a while. First of all, he is signed with MLW. So it's maybe an unpopular opinion, but I actually like the Khali and Batista. You know what? I don't mind it either. I really don't. Oh my God. Brett, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I'm not trying to anything, but folks, before we get into that Khali Batista Punjabi Prison, which I actually isn't the worst thing in the world. We have a cake in the ring and we have vodka. We got a cake and we got vodka. This is like a Ukrainian wrestling fan's dream here. Because somebody's eating that cake. Khali matches versus big guys were good. Yes and no. It depends how the gimmick went over, right? Like, with all due respect, she's got a lawyer lined up for that, folks. So I'm not even going to... Even though that lawyer is lined up for a few cases right now. Feel like the big guys without Khali make it look better, actually, at Tussle. Her cake right there looks delicious. Lola Vice, the key lines where it's at.
Sir, no, sir!
I'm just gonna... with all due respect, you could just basically. Renee even doing the Monet dance with Muppet Monet. So between Statlander and Cameron, Mercedes has got to be pissed. Oh, the belts are gone. On Nikita Lyons, when she ends up having to go all the way from title NXT to undercard NXT to road NXT to Evolve, that says enough to me. My wife's birthday is this Friday. Got to get more vodka. Hey! Happy birthday to your wife. They're not mocking, they're celebrating with you. I really do hate how much hate that Mercedes has gotten. Happy because I get to have cake. You can have your opinion. I appreciate that, Brett. I think Mercedes does a lot more than a lot of people say. I think the gimmick, the fact that she's over. I think Mercedes, with the fact that she's got everybody hating her as much as she does, she is a real student of the game. She's defended she's had over 30 matches this year, which is a lot more than a lot of people. Like on average, she's what? One every week, one every 2 weeks? To you, your gimmicks played out. Her main thing is she bumps like a 300-pound. You know what? They still turn out to be decent matches, I feel, at least. We'll have to agree to disagree, which I don't mind. I got a feeling that Monet and Statlander might be the first main event of a pay-per-view at this point. Mini Monet eats the cake? Go for some chocolate Kit Kat cake? I'm not a big cake person. Ha! Ah, Statlander, way to go. Mercedes eat. Oh my God. She was supposed to break the table, I bet, on the first one. Now she's completely draped in cake. Oh, this is awesome right here. Oh, this is how you start a rivalry, folks. It's all about vodka and cake. I am the table. Oh, now they're talking about John Moxley. This is going to be rough here. Oh my. We're still getting this feud. Feel like we should see some pro wrestlers venture into MMA. Like, I don't blame you on that. There's a few that, but ever since we've seen like Jake Hager do both, Bobby Lashley did both for a while. The biggest problem I have with that is the training camp for MMA now is 3-4 months. And to me, that seems like one of the biggest problems we're going to have here as we go along on this. Pro wrestling needs to reestablish the luster, I bet. With God, with all due respect, I think it might have in a certain way. And the only other thing I don't like about the luster back then. Oh, by the way, they got this new intro, and I absolutely love it. If you guys saw it at the pay-per-view, the conglomeration actually has like an actual video to start things now. Good old 90s sitcoms going together. Gonna drag Roddy out, of course. 70s and 80s, it was always in like smoky back rooms and. Well, at least the higher profile wrestling wasn't as big. Like once you got the Rock and Wrestling put together, it sort of helped out. Like you did have a lot of your bigger promotions like Texas and the NWA out in the Carolinas and such, and your Florida territories. And back when the territory system was there, the biggest thing there was the fact you had different varieties, so that usually drew a lot of more people. And having that ability to have that variety is taking its time right now. So that's the kind of wrestling you like, the very physical, very brutal. For me, I prefer shows where they tell stories. You can tell those stories in the ring. You can tell those stories through promo. You can tell those through matches, one or the other. See, right there, if Moxley goes through the metal detector, I want it to go off. I want it to, like, all the horns and whistles to go off and, you know, everybody, like, there's a big danger coming through. Moxley's awesome, yeah. I think there is the legitimacy of wrestling. It's just a different type now. Because I'm sorry, a lot of the stuff that they were getting away with in the 70s and 80s, you'd literally be in jail. Hell, look at Raja Jackson doing something that would have been done in the 70s and 80s. If you didn't hear what he did, he decided to take into his own hands about he took a rib situation, like somebody playing a joke on him, decided to go serious and attack the guy in the ring after a match. Doug, the guy who stopped him. Okay, yeah, I want to make sure that I say that whole statement right, because if you're saying Raja's awesome, then we got some words to discuss. No, the guys that broke it up, like, they know what was going on, so they didn't want to have anything stupid happen, but He works security for the Predator catching. Fair enough. Stints, stings. They both work the same way. You notice Moxley's sort of wrestling a different style right now? Like, he doesn't look like he's as snarly as he used to be, and tapping into his. But even tonight, like, it almost feels like he's tapping into his WWE days a little bit more with the way he's acting tonight. Like, no, his overall character, yeah, straight out of CZW, but after that loss to Darby on Friday, or on Saturday, sorry, Sunday for some of you people across the country, like, Moxley matches never look like this. Matt Hannibal? No. Nope, not at all. Not that popular going out and dealing with stuff like that, so. Ooh, that lunchbox cover. Stealing a page out of Wheeler Yuta's book there. Moxley has yet to get an offensive move in here. Outside of maybe like 3 seconds of that. There's the John Moxley we used to see. Little boot across the face. Moxley just unloading these shots here. That's why I sort of wonder if the Death Riders come out and just completely obliterate Mox. I feel like AEW has that. Oh, you like that time? Okay, fair enough. Honestly, for me, it doesn't. I wouldn't go that direction, to be honest with you. I don't know if I've really seen a scenario like this before, and I don't mind it. Because really with AEW and the, like, between the format and, have they done the bracket yet? No, Jay Quick. The only thing we've had confirmed so far, by the way, good to see you. The only thing we have confirmed is that one of the first round matches is going to be Julia Hart and Sky Blue versus Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, because they had that four-way women's match, and the winning team got to decide who their first opponent was, and that was the announcement that Jamie Hayter made today. Vampiro Misfits would fit in AEW like ring on finger. Chat, feel free to comment in on this, because I'll be honest, the Misfits conglomeration, I think it's sort of tit for tat there. Vampiro, outside of the gimmick that he had, I don't know that, like, him and Darby are like cut from the same cloth in many ways. Except Vampiro's just not as crazy. Even though that could be subject to opinion as well. But I don't know. It'd be a good thing to see. Like, if there was some possible way that you could, how would you book those guys in an AEW like this, right? Yeah, AAA with El Macias. Yeah, like, and the thing is, and chat, I want to throw this out to you because this is a thought I've been having, and it really makes me wonder in some cases. Yes, we do have that I Quit match on Saturday. Yes, we did have Moxley Swerve and Hangman last year at All Out. Every once in a while, we will get those insane matches, like women's tag team street fights. Like, we know they're absolutely insane. But in the overall grand scheme of things, since things have started to settle down a little bit, has it really been overly extreme in AEW? I don't think so. I know earlier the reputation can be a little crazy like that, but now, outside of maybe one rivalry at a time, we really don't see a lot of that. Like it's trying to find your niche, but going a little too far and then bringing it back. And that seems to be what AEW has been doing, at least me personally. There's a difference between being real and being extreme. Like, if you watch a guy like Kyle O'Reilly in the ring, like, he's real. You see most of the matches that we get in AEW, they are real. Whatever extreme have it came out of the Young Bucks account. I appreciate the joke. By the way, Tony Khan has decided to throw out another $400,000. But it's going to be a little bit interesting here. Jet Speed and Jurassic Express versus FTR and the Bucks this Saturday. For $400,000. Oh, the winner gets $400,000. That's been the latest storyline with the Bucks. They're officially known as the Broke Bucks. If you do yourself a favor, if you get a chance, I do believe there's video of it online, of the opening Tron for the Bucks match versus Jurassic Express on Saturday, if you haven't watched it. Feel free to check that out, because apparently the Bucks, as of Saturday, had $32.17 available to them after blowing $500,000. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't have Hookers and Blow as part of the amount. Shout out to Adam Cole there with the knee in the back of the head. Dropping the boom there. Uh-oh. But every submission that Moxley's doing here, it's like O'Reilly's got an answer for it right away. Now he's going into the Bulldog Choke, which O'Reilly reverses right away into this armbar. Another revert. Damn, that King Kong lariat. O'Reilly's out of it, now into the Bulldog Choke. Now, He didn't get the Bulldog choke to finish it either. This is getting interesting here. Moxley's just not into it tonight. I don't mind it. It's pretty cool the way things are going here. Oh, missed the stomp into the chop block. Damn. No way. O'Reilly going to get the win here? Moxley's doing the complete burnout here. O'Reilly wins by DQ. Oh my God, these guys are... Mox may have lost his edge. Folks, we might have had a audible shuffle here on War Games. Sorry, Blood and Guts. There's two different ways of doing this. And Mox literally just booked it. Peanut Buster parfaits for all. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we'll go with this one.
Oh yeah!
Peanut Buster parfaits for everybody. There we go. Now we get a few of these sounds out. I swear, I'm working on more sounds. So I apologize. No, it looks like Moxley's like literally, and Jay Quick put it right in the perfect words there. He's lost his edge. And we're not talking about Adam Copeland here. Moxley's second, third guessing himself, and I think there might be a possibility that, well, there's two ways we can do this. Either we're setting up for a conglomeration versus Death Riders for Blood and Guts, or we're setting up for the downfall of Moxley. We could realistically go either way here. And I'll be honest, I don't feel bad on either one. Just for the fact that Moxley, as much as people can hate him, they can love him just as much. He is a diabolical ass as a heel, and it's great. But you can be just as much of an unhinged lunatic and be a face, just like Darby Allin is. But I don't know, maybe it's the WWE-ism in me that's turning Moxley face. It's a phrase that I've used quite often to explain a lot of this stuff, WWE-isms. Because quite often WWE has these tropes that they do. Like losing in your hometown, and certain storylines have to go a certain way, and it takes a while for me to ingrain in my brain that this doesn't have to do it. Mox just didn't have it tonight. No, he, like, every time, like, honestly, the perfect opponent to expose Moxley tonight was Kyle O'Reilly. Because Kyle O'Reilly is a submission specialist, and every time that Moxley tried to do anything in that ring, Moxley becomes one step closer to saying the words, "I quit," which he already did. And by the way, knocking out the referee, that might be a way to get him suspended for a while. Just keep that in mind, that you might hear that come up here right away. Just as we're coming up from the commercial break here. But it looks like Bandito and Okada is going to be the main event tonight. Well, they said to hell with this. Let's go. What do you guys think of the banners at ringside of all the DC characters? Looks like everybody's enjoying the fact that Moxley clocked the referee there. I love it. I love the fact that, you know, everything we're thinking about, everything we're talking about is they're showing up on our screen here. And I really feel bad for Okada and Bandito because a lot of people are thinking it's going to be match of the year, but I'm a little worried about the fact that those two are having a little bit of an issue. Like, let's face it, Bandito's working with one arm right now. That might not be the easiest thing in the world to do. Garcia going for work here. Yeah, do we have anything else after this match besides the main? I don't think so. Oh, Briscoe's going to rip Garcia apart. These guys just unloading bombs on each other. Looking forward towards Okada and Takeshita. Yeah, like, I still wonder, are they going to do that at World's End? Or are they going to do it Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty? Only other thing, then the main schedule is to be the... They'll do the bracket in the last segment right before the main event. Guaranteed. That's the way they always do the announcements. Well, Orange is hands up, ready for a tag. Claudio just looks pissed. Like, you know that extra little bit of intensity when your brother's in trouble? Roderick's still looking to do some work here. Like, people got to remember, Claudio's a former AEW World Champion. So is Roderick Strong. Like, Roderick was one of the most infamous ROH champions. So, well, that's a backbreaker. Strong, smart enough not to get caught on that. Now he gets the drop kick in there. Oh, here we go. Draw 4? Is that supposed to be like an Uno joke, Jay Quick? Because, you know, it's one thing I miss playing online here is Uno with everybody. All right, you earned it. It's an extra couple minutes there, but you earned it. I got to make sure you get it in. I missed the party. That was such a fun time during the pandemic. The fact to get to watch those videos and just see how things went, but those guys just hanging out. yes, the pandemic was a shitty time. And, well, for myself personally, the pandemic was... Like, a lot of people got time off during the pandemic. I didn't get a single day. Because apparently car washes are essential services in Canada, so... You can tell that they genuinely love it. Yeah, like... And that's the thing. Like, when you hang out with some people and you know that they want to be around each other and hang out... Sort of like when the four of us get a chance to hang out for my GM here. We're panicking working on this stuff, but we also, you know, enjoy hanging out with each other, or else we wouldn't do it. The only difference is sometimes life gets busy, right? But we might have to, if everything goes well, we might finish season, oh my God, we got a KJ sighting. Let's get one of those here. KJ, how you doing today? You missed the Monet cake. As there was a cake out there that not only Mini Monet ate, but Mercedes ate it thanks to Chris Statlander. So, hope you're doing well. Glad you're alive. I know life is, you know, when you're learning to save people's lives, it's, you know, a little difficult, you know, to, you know, take time to actually stop in and hang out with people. And, you know, it's all about studying and making things go good. So good to see you here. Good to see everybody here. Like, we've had the last few weeks, a lot more people have popped in here, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. We may not always agree about everything, but we always have a lot of fun talking about it. So. And unlike trying to climb Mount Everest, this is an accomplishable feat, so. But yeah, no, life's going good here today, so. And once again, everybody, just a reminder, if you are not following us over here on YouTube, make sure you check out the wrestling YouTube channel for Twitch. The link's down below. If you aren't subscribed already, please do. I'm going to have a brand new video out. It's either going to be Saturday, Monday, or Tuesday. I got to talk, like I said, I've talked to Andre to confirm he's not doing anything. And, yeah, you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. I got to find some graphics I have to add to it, so I usually don't do produce videos. I want to start doing a little bit more of those and see how they go. If it turns out well, I want to start making a few more of those. But Claudio just seems like that ultimate soldier, if you ask me. Like, we were talking about this on Saturday here. If they were going to kick Moxley out, who would be the leader? And I sort of mentioned Wheeler for all the recruiting he was doing. A lot of people mentioned Claudio. If you guys have a thought, please feel free to throw it in. How about that Winnipeg appearance from her? Absolutely. Like, and Jody Thread had a hell of a match with her. Like, let's make sure we give credit where credit's due. Jody did a fantastic job with her. But now Mercedes is up to 12 belts. And for everybody that hates on what happened there's enough videos going online now from people that are like calling out specifics right now, and good on them. Like Alex Queen of the Ring and Mini Portable, they're all like, what is up with your hate other than jealousy? I know some of us don't agree with what, like, the whole storyline, but I've always been of the belief, and I will be like that for the day I die. Let things play out. We have lots of time to complain about it after it's done. And if you really don't like what you see, don't watch the product. Sort of sums up, like, you want to give an example of it, like, I put a post out on X last week, or earlier this week. Fuck, it was yesterday. Because the screen grab, or the poster went up when they announced Jey Uso and CM Punk for the title next Saturday. And I just said, look, they don't know how to book on the fly, period. It's pretty sad when you can say that Tony Khan might have a better grasp on booking on the fly than Trips lately. Yeah, we were talking about them Jays. You hear it everywhere. Oh, since we brought the Jays up, we'll get one more. That's starting on Friday. It's going to be absolutely insane starting on Friday. The biggest thing I've heard and the most disappointing thing is like people are like 400 in line and they're not getting tickets. Everyone's favorite topic in Toronto right now. That doesn't surprise me. As long as they don't have to talk about the Leafs, you know, everything should be good there. Honestly, if you guys want a good time and a good laugh, check out Steve Dangle's channel. It's like either STPN or Steve Dangle, the name himself. He does a wrap-up after every Maple Leafs game. And the fact that they're absolute shit right now helps so much in my mental joy in life. My God, what a finish there. Roderick with the save because Claudio ain't fast enough. But I am so excited the fact that DC is sponsoring Full Gear and this. Like, DC's actually sponsoring an AEW pay-per-view. Watching all these graphics out there, it just seems like it's so perfect. What a frickin' lariat there. Jay Drada! Hey! Mr. Jules, how are you doing, sir? Hope everything's going well for you too, my friend. Just having a lot of fun watching AEW right now. They got a DC theme coming up this month for the pay-per-view, so I hope it happens more often, to be honest. Wild to see on YouTube Live. We do it every Wednesday, Saturday for AEW now. Been doing it consistently, I'd say, about for 6 months now. Instead of on delay. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it, and gonna have a extra video coming up next week. Once again, I've been mentioning it most of the night here. No, we're up here 3 times a week, and what in the hell? Oh no! Oh no! Danielson, get out of the way! Well, Darby with a baseball bat, I'll fix that for them. Folks, I think we got our War Games match. Our Blood and Guts match. Conglomeration and Darby versus the Death Riders. Not going to hate it. Oh, Alicia, what do you got for us? Oh my God. God bless Athena. Okay. So we're getting Athena and Monet as a team. At least she gets covered in cake. Hey, PJC. Things are going well tonight. We got our first match official for Full Gear, presented by DC. It's going to be Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Monet for the AEW World Title. We all love cake. PJC, are you good to go tonight or no? For my GM? I put something in the Discord, but I keep forgetting that you're not a Discord guy for the most part. But yeah, Fletcher in the ring here. Pink suit and all. So we got one half of the Dad Bods tag team in the Twitch, the other half in the YouTube. Life is going good here tonight. But yeah, no, I'm glad everybody's having a good time tonight. We are just rocking and rolling all night tonight. What's with the hug? This is when we all are supposed to start doing the asshole. Asshole. So is he going to turn around and say that he's not going to defend it anymore? Many people are saying this is the match of the night there, Briscoe and Fletcher, which I would almost say any of the tag matches would qualify as best match of the night. So who are you going to face then? And Briscoe's back. Are we getting another match with him? Hate how much I love the team of Athena and Monet. You love it. You love it. Talk that bullshit. No, Athena and Monet in one half of that bracket. I wouldn't surprise me if we get Mina and Tony versus Monet and Athena as one of the quarterfinals. You know that's a bigger injury than most when Mark Briscoe gets kicked in the balls because he's got 9 kids. And that's not a fictional 9 kids, folks. That is a real 9 kids. He just had his 9th kid a couple weeks ago. Really, Callus? You have a microphone in front of your mouth. Don't you want to say anything? Redneck Philip Rivers over there. Have you seen Callus's X account, by the way? He's just brilliantly throwing everything in all caps and just telling everybody off. It's a little bit of amazing. The hell is a conglomeration? So they're just ending it on that? They're ending it on that. Okay. Well, it's the night after a pay-per-view, right? They've had, like, what, 2 or 3 different segments where somebody from the previous match showed up to be background for the next segment. It is a little weird. It's a little off, but as we're getting up to our main event here, it is a tradition that I give you guys a bit of a rundown what's going to be going on here on stream. Coming up after we're done Dynamite here tonight, we are going to be getting into my GM mode exclusively on Twitch. Myself, Zodiac, PJC, HBC Bad Guys. Hope everybody shows up. I'm thinking everybody shows up. We're going to be very close to finishing up season 3 here. We're up to week 14 coming up this week. So 14 to 25 weeks. So we're going to breeze through another 5 or 6 weeks this week. So, and then tomorrow morning, I got something brand new that we're going to be trying out. It's probably only going to be one day, but it's going to be a hell of a day. If you like superhero movies, if you like Telltale games, you're going to like this stream. There's a brand new game that just released yesterday. That's what I'll be saying tomorrow. Just released today. Called Dispatch. It's a superhero It's a superhero game where you have to dispatch different heroes to different it's better seen than talked about. So I hope you guys get an opportunity to check things out with me tomorrow during the day as we check out Dispatch. It's supposed to be at least just a couple hours or so, so we'll have some fun with that and see how it goes. No stream Friday. Saturday we'll be here with AEW Collision. We'll have NXT Halloween Havoc on in the background, as well as the Jays. Probably more Jays than NXT, to be honest. The WWE 2K25 My GM, we are in week 17 and 18 on the solo run here. So we're looking to got to figure out what Mike's going to do now because, well, frankly, he lost the title and I don't want to turn him into an indie promoter who gets the title every week. And then this Sunday coming up, we are going to have our Mayhem Bowl Championship. If you guys weren't here last week, I got into the playoffs of a double doink. We ended up having Houston get a double doink on themselves in the last play of the game, make the playoffs. We are taking on Los Scandalous in the first round. Hope you could join us here for that. Until next Wednesday after that, that'll be TBA, Monday and Tuesdays. So, but yeah, let's get to these brackets here because I want to see how this looks. I'm not a hater versus Sisters of Sin. We knew that. Willow and Harley versus Monet and Athena. My God, that's going to be fun. Bane and Ford versus TJ. That's expected. Windsor and Riho versus Tony and Mina. That's an interesting bracket, to say the least. Is there anybody realistically on there that's missing? I would think the only other team that you would have besides that may be Deonna Purrazzo, Taya Valkyrie. They didn't say exactly when the tournament starts. I would assume it's next week if they're lining up for Full Gear. Well, they got a name. Timeless Love Bombs. Oh, shit. Really? We're getting Tekla and Mina on Saturday. First title holders be TJ or Bane Ford. The winner of that match, I would love to see that. Windsor and Rio is an interesting team. It almost feels like that 8th seed. It really does feel like I don't know the experience of those two together, but the fact that they're both new may be part of it. I don't know. TJ is both OGs and Ford's improved so much with Bane. Yeah, like look at the only team that's actually dressed up for the DC sponsorship too. Like right now, it's Bane and Ford. So you know they got to be doing something right if they're getting a promotional push, right? Anna Jay's over. Absolutely, I would agree with that too. Like you can't go wrong with either team. That's why I sort of wish that they were on opposite sides of the bracket, those two teams. But I think if you notice in the first round, it's everybody that's pretty much pretty much in the same realm with each other. Like they've fought quite a few times, so it's going to look good. The only question I have about this is literally when are they going to start? Because you could pretty much do it the week of you got to remember that Blood and Guts is coming up in like 3 weeks. November 12th, and the women have said they're going in Blood and Guts. And I would assume that at least 4 of those teams are going to be in Blood and Guts. Monet Athena versus TJ for the belts. I'd go with that. I would definitely love that. What do I think the cheesiest answer would be and the most safe answer? Mina and Tony versus Monet and Athena. The best big match wrestler in All Elite Wrestling? I beg to differ. Who would be the best big match wrestler in AEW? I still say it's Will. It would be awful, but look at the storyline. Like, I think the match would be Swerve. There you go. I absolutely would not go against Swerve in that situation either. Yeah, Swerve and Ospreay, the two big answers that are coming up. Like, you could also bring up Storm in that suggestion as well. Daniel Xavier is still active. Fair. Yeah, since TNT doesn't have the NBA anymore, they get to actually work at a regular time here. Kenny used to be, but yeah. Pac versus Ishii. All right, well, that's going to be a interest. Irresistible force versus a movable object. Okada, good thing he's wearing dark pants right now. Fright Night Dynamite next Wednesday. Okada trying to play patty cake with the hand. I really wish we could get this match when Bandito's at 100%. Because with that shoulder, the way that it's still, I would have to say it's probably at like 70% at best. And Okada sneaky. I thought you actually went under the ring on that one. But folks, as we're in our main event here, once again, it's great having you all here, and I just want to say, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, I really do appreciate having you all here, and we're really gaining some good momentum here, and hopefully I'm going to do a couple things here that are going to help make things a little more better experience for you guys. Hey, I love that. I love that 3-year-old trying to tell Okada he's number one. Don't forget MJF too. You can get the audience. Yeah. Once he's done filming, once MJF's done finished filming, I still got a really weird feeling. And just call it intuition, call it premonition, call it something I'm just used to. MJF calls his shot a week before Full Gear. He has to call it a week ahead of time. So he calls it a week ahead of Full Gear, and he's part of that match in New Jersey. And he finds a way to sneak that title off Paige. And if he ends up beating Paige for the title and Samoa Joe doesn't get pinned, there's your whole follow-up storyline to get Samoa Joe his final title run before you go. Because you remember, it's Joe that took the title off MJF when he ended up having to go out with his shoulder injury after that diabolical Full Gear. If you guys don't remember that Full Gear match with Jay White, that basically, in all honesty, it sort of set AEW back at least 6 months to a year, but at least wised up Tony enough to get the title off MJF now before the story really gets stupid. I think it was a necessary growing pain possibly to have that match now that you get 2 years away from thinking about it. Did it suck at the time? Absolutely. But now that you think about it, sometimes the best way to learn is to learn from your mistakes. And I know everybody except for Jay Quick here has made mistakes before. So we all learn from our mistakes. So you notice I'm not throwing no rim shot there, right? But yeah, just it's going to be interesting now to see what AEW gets to do in terms of presentation, in terms of everything going on. The other funny part is TSN can't even get the right graphic for AEW because, well, AEW has officially dropped the All Elite Wrestling about around their graphic as a brand logo, I do believe. So once Billy Starks turns babyface, she'll be the Bayley of AEW. It makes me wonder, though, Nats, to be perfectly honest. And just remember how young Bayley is. Or, sorry, remember how young Starks is? She's only, what, 20? Like, we got time for her, so we don't have to rush it at all here. The other thing I worry about, and Zodiac, you can feel free to throw in the words if you want, because you know exactly where I'm going with that. Why do you need to have a Bayley of AEW when you literally could get Bayley W? Because if you haven't noticed and you haven't seen earlier, there's been some oh, absolutely. Bayley has been putting out posts talking about how she wants to get to Japan a lot sooner. And if her contract comes up as soon as it is, the opportunity to go to Stardom, the opportunity to work with AEW, Stardom, any of those. Want AEW to get Bayley, but the question is, will they? I have no doubt in my mind that if Davina Rose gets to become a free agent, I will almost guarantee that there is a signing very quick. Does she debut real quick? Possibly, maybe. They won't backlog her like Andrade? No, because she's best friends with Mercedes. I almost guarantee. As much as people want to talk about Mercedes being a shithead, and which I don't believe, to be honest, I think the fact that people consider her a shithead are really looking into her character more than actually her wrestling character more than her actual character. And but I do think that part of the deal was, all right, I'll join AEW, but you got to bring in my friend here. With all due respect, I never met the guy, but I don't like the RL person on Andrade. I can see why. I can understand. Think AEW will sue the shit out of WWE about Andrade? Unfortunately, AEW can't. AEW, in legalese, in the way that's going to have to go, AEW can't sue WWE for that contract. It's not just the wrestler's fault in that situation. The only way that contract, AEW could physically get involved with it, unless they want to sponsor a lawyer, is if WWE sued AEW for using Andrade on that show. And WWE is too smart to do that. Because if they sue AEW for it, that rule will get thrown out. That I still think either way, my personal feelings, I think that contract will be thrown out eventually, or that stipulation in the contract, if Andrade wants to go through with it. TKO's lawyer, it doesn't. You can be as lawyered out the ass you want. If a rule is a bad rule, you can be lawyered out the ass. Eventually, you're just going to have to pay the piper. Could they hold it through litigation for the next 6 months to make it more pointless? Maybe. But it's all about, do you really want to go through that headache? Hey, Vic, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you on the Discord. Are you good to go tonight or no? We're waiting to hear back from PJC as well, but yes, sir. All right, cool. He got the 21 plex. Thought, hey, you know what? I appreciate you, my friend. Well, considering it is 6 minutes overtime. Yeah, Okada ain't dropping this. You get the 21 plex and still not. Like I said, I really watching the Knicks get caught all the way up just now. How'd the Knicks do, by the way? I didn't get a chance to see the score. I was watching the early part of the first quarter before stream started. They were up 10. Got the first dub, attaboy. I have to say, I think that this crowd's way better than St. Louis. Absolutely. And Okada just said, nope, we ain't doing this now. Oh my God, reverse the Rainmaker. Cleveland, nice, all right. I think the Knicks might be the most interesting team in the league this year. Just because they fired Tibbs. No, puppets were harmed on tonight's episode of Dynamite. They were covered in cake. We got everybody talking about what kind of cake they want and how everybody wants Mercedes cake. Stolen finisher by Bandito. Hate the extra attention this year. No way. Is he going to pull this off? Okada was smart enough not to hang on the ropes. You notice for that flip, he wasn't holding up on the ropes. He just stood up. So then Bandito flipped right over and got caught in that. That is such a smart move. See, Zodiac, like he said. No, we did not get new tag champs. It seems like the rivalry with the Demand is going to continue. Thanks to that little rat ricochet, just distracting enough that MVP got caught in the key clutch by Joe. Just literally. But yeah, fortunately, we're getting the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate to still run a little bit. Oh, no. No, if you're watching, Bandito went for the 21 plex, but Okada was, instead of hanging on the ropes, because it has to springboard off the ropes, he had 2 steps back. So when Bandito did the flip, he ran down his feet. Okada caught him, turned him around, Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3. And now we got Takeshita, who is not coming down to the ring to celebrate. He looks like a young Owen Hart. Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10. They are trying to make this a fight, and it almost looks like they're starting to force this a little bit. Could we get it as early as Full Gear? That would be... Oh, first of all, that'd be rushing it a little bit, but I'd love to let that stew a little bit, but also you're probably planning on having... you're probably on looking at having somebody like maybe, well, I'm thinking Takeshita would probably be in the C2, if anything. Callous Lumberjack? Oh, God. Could you just imagine Callous in a Lumberjack outfit? I might even need to do that for, theoretically, I could do that for Backbreaker Wrestling coming up, but yeah, all in all tonight, like I know some of us said that no Tim Burr meets Don Callis. That would be it'd be somewhat appropriate for Winnipeg, but all in all tonight, when it comes to Dynamite, like we said, it's that after the pay-per-view show, they announced their first match for Full Gear, which is going to be Chris Statlander versus Mercedes for the Women's Championship. Now, if they announce that the tag titles are going to be at Full Gear, do they put Mercedes in 2 matches on one night? That's the question. I think that's somewhat why they didn't want to say anything about it right now, because, well, frankly, you don't want to spoil anything, right? Other than that, you're looking at possibly getting another Fletcher Briscoe match. The Demand and the Hurt Syndicate are trying to find a way not to burn out this rivalry, even though it looks like they quite possibly could. The women's draw has been set up, and I think we'll go through it a little bit more next week. Hell, in terms of, who knows, maybe I'll even make a video about it. We'll see. I would love to see what your guys' thoughts overall will be with the draw. And this main event segment, Takeshita and Okada, I'm a little scared that they're going to try and push it a little too fast. I would like a little bit more of a slow burn about this, but there's very well a possibility they could force this on us in Full Gear. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a bad match, but I still need that match to... I need that match to be treated special. With that being said, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the AEW Dynamite portion of the show. For those watching on YouTube, we're going to be heading exclusively over to twitch.tv/MikeTheRef because, well, audio copyrights and all that stupid stuff. And we're recording stuff for our Backbreaker Gaming channel, so we're going to conduct business over on the Twitch exclusively now. So please head over there, twitch.tv/MikeTheRef. But yeah, we'll sign off here, and next time we'll be back live on YouTube is this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern with AEW Collision. We'll probably have the Blue Jays on. I'll definitely have the Score Bug on again as we are getting into Game 2 of the World Series at that point. So hopefully we'll be able to do 2 collisions like that, unless the Blue Jays sweep. If the Blue Jays sweep 4 straight, we don't have to worry about next Saturday. For those watching on YouTube, once again, thank you for being here, and we will see you all here on Saturday with the AEW Collision Sidecast. Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.